Wait, I got a video we can watch.
In 2016, a player was about to pick Soraka during a professional match of League of Legends. He waits until
now I see why this video was sent to me.
A player was about to pick Soraka during a professional match of League of Legends. He waits until the very last second and he misclicks and locks in Rammus instead.
Okay. Bro, I like how they showed Soraka like 4 rows down in the bottom right and then Rammus 4 rows up in the top left. And they're like, he misclicked. He was not terrorizing his team.
And Rammus.
What?
Due to exhausting the entire clock and it not being a client error, the team was not allowed to remake the game.
Okay, so it's his fault. So it was all Piglet's fault.
I just got confirmation that Rammus is not intentional. That was supposed to be a Soraka.
Rammus support it is.
Oh, he gets back to Ling so fast. Oh, it's broken.
They lost.
I'm pretty sure. Wait, this was the final as well. I'm pretty sure that this meant you auto-qualified for LCS. You literally win this game, you automatically qualify for LCS, by the way. Just in case you were wondering.
Oh, he gets back to Ling so fast. Oh, it's broken.
They lost. But this wouldn't be the first nor the last time that a professional gamer makes a game-ruining mistake. From players buying the wrong items, junglers forgetting to take Smite, and sometimes just forgetting to buy items altogether.
I don't have jungle item.
But you know what's not a mistake? Taking a break from losing league games to play War Thunder, the sponsor of today's video. War Thunder stands as the most extensive vehicle combat game ever made.
It was game 5, and the winner of that game automatically qualified to LCS because there used to be an auto relegation slot. Pretty sure in season 16 there was an auto relegation slot. I'm pretty sure there was an auto relegation slot, and if you were last place, you got kicked.
It's available for free on both PC and consoles. In War Thunder, you take control of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations. These ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and main modern battle tanks of today. Not to mention, the game offers a comprehensive customization system, allowing you to customize your vehicles however you want. The gameplay, realistic graphics, and genuine sound effects allow you to truly immerse yourself in its combat. Also, War Thunder is heavily optimized to deliver a lag-free experience and high frame rates, even on a lower-end machine. So, if you're ready to play War Thunder and join over 70 million players in epic PvP battles, use my link in the description to get started with a huge bonus pack. This is available to new players or returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months across
so the winner
all
of that
platforms,
game auto-qualifies
and is only available for a limited time. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video.
And what happened in
Getting things started, we've all been there before. You spawn into a game of Summoner's Rift and quickly run to lane. Minions spawn, you're fighting your laner, and then you realize you never bought any items. You now have to go home and risk being behind for the foreseeable future.
And then they had to play against
but don't feel too bad,
elimination
because
round,
this
and they just
even
lost.
happens to players on 6-figure salaries who are paid exclusively to be good at League of Legends. Most recently, in one of the first matches of Worlds 2024 between Mad Lions and PSG Talon, the Mad Lions jungler forgot to buy items.
IWDominate doesn't have a jungle item, by the way. He hasn't bought. So hopefully he recognizes that pretty quickly, or he's not going to be able to clear the jungle.
When it comes to the jungler, if you don't buy your jungle item, upon killing the first jungle camp, you won't level up.
It's getting too late. He doesn't know he doesn't have an item. He's not going to be able to clear the jungle.
That's not good.
And as far as I can tell, it's not a UI error. He just forgot to buy the item, so he is going to be struggling here.
Yeah, I'm watching the red buff battle. It's close.
The red buff is actually kind of...
No, it's going to win.
Red buff has hands.
Yeah.
Red buff has hands. IWDominate's got to get out of there, and that is
so
a rough start, to put it mildly, here for IWDominate.
I've seen better. I've seen better jungle pass from IWDominate.
But a minute and 42 seconds into the game, while losing the fight to the red buff, he finally noticed he indeed had no items. However, a lesson for everyone. Don't get tilted over early mistakes, because a couple minutes later, he goes bot lane and gets first blood.
First blood, grab by IWDominate, jungle item be damned.
Oh no,
But
maybe
the
there was an
part
auto relegation
is that this exact issue also happened last year.
So I don't want to alarm anybody, but Croc doesn't have any items.
During a match between G2 and Loud Esports, the jungler for Loud made the mistake of not buying items. However, his jungle got invaded and things were a little bit more complicated than the previously mentioned situation.
And again, Croc doesn't have items. Yeah. I just need to make that very clear. So we're maybe going to have a little bit of a Smite fight. Seos is around though. They are looking for it. So gonna land the spear here onto Croc. That's a fair bit of damage here. A little bit of already a bit of a skirmish coming in. They're going to try and go for the Smite fight. They're going to jump in though with from the thing. They're Croc, and this is the thing. He doesn't have items. He doesn't have level 2.
You can see him on the screen. He's realized.
Come on, man.
You can see his face there.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
He knew how badly that had gone.
He realizes. He goes, "Wait, where's my level 2?"
They ended up losing that game.
I would pause the game and call it a bug.
Surprisingly, wasn't the jungler's fault. Sejuani came back, but Renekton couldn't resist being top diff and died 10 times. But of course, one step worse from forgetting to buy items is forgetting to take Smite altogether.
Oh no, he took Ignite.
Wait, Wei has Ignite from a 1v1. I remember this.
Only happened a couple of times ever, but most notably in 2020, in an LPL match between BLG and E-Star, the E-Star jungler forgets to take Smite. In BLG and E-Star,
bro, look at that lineup. That was when King was playing in BLG.
The E-Star jungler forgets to take Smite. This results in the game being delayed for almost 10 minutes as the players speak with the referee, likely requesting a remake. Though due to whatever rules were in place, the remake request was denied and the Graves was forced to play the game without Smite. However, when we previously mentioned this story,
it actually wasn't that bad back then. It wasn't as bad as it is now, where your Smite does like more of it. Your pet does the majority of the work.
Kind of joked about it and moved on. But it's worth mentioning that despite being a complete disaster to forget Smite on stage, it wasn't a guaranteed defeat. They actually hung on for over 30 minutes. 20 minutes into the game, somehow, the Smiteless jungler actually had the same amount of CS as the opposing jungler. The commentators even acknowledge that things weren't going so bad.
Even without a Smite, Wei is only 1 level down right now versus his jungle opponent, and this region is often
bro, like, because used to not only like before it used to be that you wouldn't get experience really when you didn't take your jungle item, but you could still actually do the camps. Now you can't actually kill the camp without Smite. Like, your pet just does way too much because they wanted to make it so junglers could kill their camps, but other people couldn't kill camps because they didn't want like laners getting a camp early game or anything like this.
Determined by the team fights. I think the E-Star have the ability to win through team fights.
Nah, yeah. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Fen thinks so too, as he goes straight in with the parallel convergence. He's gone real deep as he tries to get onto Fofo, flashes for it and pushed away by the Emperor's Divide.
The f is he doing?
What are you doing, my friend? He's trying to get onto
Holy shit.
That was awful. That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Bro, I forgot Shousey was existing back here.
They do end up losing, and this story goes a bit viral because his organization reportedly fined him a month's worth of his salary.
God damn,
which
bro,
I think we can all agree is a bit excessive for that kind of mistake. But LPL...
Bro, it's actually kind of up to get fined for something that you did by accident.
Teams seem to disagree.
I don't,
as 1 year later, another LPL player would go on to make the same
I don't
mistake.
fuck with the fine.
I'm really confused.
I mean, to be honest, Piglet, like, if that's the case, then Piglet should have been fined for what he did to me the first game he ever played. The first game he ever played, he didn't take runes or masteries. So we were playing Sivir into Callista. It was Sneaky's Callista. Piglet was playing Sivir, and he was down 50 CS in lane because he literally could not play the lane because he had no runes or masteries.
Go on. Why does PZX have TP and no Smite?
Oh no!
However, it should be mentioned that this time it was a jungler on a team that had lost all 12 matches of the season. They were 0-12 going into this game, and I have a feeling that Viego with Smite or without Smite wasn't going to make a big difference. Once again, this organization deducted a month's salary from their jungler. But hey, if they want to feel a little bit better, even the GOAT makes mistakes. During a special promotional match in the LCK, Faker participated in a match where he played jungle instead of mid. However, he forgot to take Smite.
And here are the Juggernauts. It is Team Mid, led by Faker, who will be playing jungle, as we have a little bit of a pause to start things off. Faker having what looks to be a great time. He forgot to take Smite. An understandable mistake for a mid laner to make, and that's why he was a little bit red in the face when we did pan the camera over. Oh no!
The game quickly gets paused and the enemy team laughs after realizing the issue and they say surely there won't be a remake. But you know, due to it being a promotional match and it being Faker, they did indeed remake the game.
As per the rules, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering, oh, he made a mistake, why aren't they resetting? You, as the player, are in charge of your runes and masteries and your summoner spells.
In conclusion, remember that whether it's a player in Iron or literally the greatest ever to touch the
shots for no reason.
Rift, we all make mistakes.
Because this is the largest goal deficit at 20.
Faker with one of the worst flashes!
Thank you for watching. Remember to check out War Thunder in the first link in the description.
Okay.